Alright, hello everybody, and in this video, in this recording, I will be explaining why the bike problem's answer is not 17 and a half. It is 7/10. So, heave on. So, let's say heave on is H. He's going, hold on, right now. Heave on. He is going, oh, what was it again? Hold on, let's refer to the picture of the problem. Um, wait. Uh, the the blackboarding will resume shortly. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. Heave on. He is going on his bicycle. Don't follow bicycle, just like so he is going um I think recording software is covering the okay. So he is riding 1/5 of a mile per minute. So going 1/5 of a mile per minute, and it takes him 3.5 minutes to get to school. So, first of all, I'll be explaining why the answer is not 17.5. So, if he's going 1/5 of a mile per minute, that means in 2 minutes, let's say he's going 2 minutes, then he'd be going 2/5 of a mile per 2 minutes. I'll just run both to MI for miles, M for minutes. So he'd be so he if he if if he went 3 minutes, if if it took him 3 minutes, then it would take him 3/5. Or he would have gone 3/5 of a mile, and so on and so forth. Fourth, fourth, tripping over my words. Fourth, four, 4/5, 4/5 of uh 4/5 mile, and that would be 4 minutes. You guys are just here now. What does this look like here? 1/5, 2/5. Let me see. 1/5. What 1/5? One. So I did not know, as in elementary school, I did not know how to make the TH sound. I did not know that the TH sound, th, was different from f and duh. I did not know it was th and th. did not know that. So I have trouble pronouncing th. I have trouble because I learned it only a couple months ago. So be lenient. So, this is repeated addition, yes? Adding 1/5 to the miles and 1 to the minutes. And what is excuse my phlegm. And what is repeated addition exactly? What's that called? Repeated addition is also known as multiplication. So, order to find how far away Yvonne's school is from his house, we have to find I'm actually running out of space here. There is I want to erase. So we need to find how many miles he would go if it took him 3.5 minutes, because that is how that we know that. So if it was yeah, so we're looking for how many miles away Yvonne's school is. So we'd have to multiply both of them by 3.5 minutes to see how many miles he would go in 3.5 minutes. So you have to multiply both by 3.5. So that is why the answer is not division. The, the way you do this problem is not by division. You have to multiply. Because this problem is quite deceiving. It would, if you looked at this problem for like a couple of seconds and you were asked to complete it, you would probably come to the conclusion that you're supposed to divide, but you are not. I do get why some people divided on this problem. So it seems, okay, 3.5 minutes, we have to see how many miles fits in that amount of time, which that makes sense. Could for sure make sense. But that is not the case, and I will show you why. Let me erase this. There's no clear board option, so. Alright. I'm gonna, like, I'll stick with the red. So, division on this problem. Let's set up what we had. 1/5 of a mile per minute. That is 1 minute. To be clear. To be super clear. Very clear. I didn't really need to specify that minute means 1 minute, but I will. Did not realize you could scroll up and down on this. That's it. So, 1/5 of a mile per minute, and the total minutes is 3.5. That's the total. Now, as I said, this is a very deceiving problem. This is a very tricky problem, and as you know, and does seem this is the total, right? This is the total amount of minutes it takes them to get to school. You have a what seems to be a part, right? Looks like a part. Right? Um. Okay. 1/5 of a mile. 1/5 of a mile? That seems like a part. But this is 1/5 of a mile. This is 1/5 of a mile. This is 3.5 minutes. Those are two separate units that, yes, are related, but, 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 there are two different units. You can't. That is like, it's comparing apples and oranges. Is that the phrase? Is that saying? I'm not sure if that's the saying. Comparing side tangent over. Um, that is like comparing. It's like never mind, never mind. You see how it's multiplication that you have to do, right? Because you're multiplying both by 3.5 to get how many miles he's going per 3.5 minutes. You get that, don't you? Right? You don't get that here, don't you? So let's get to the actual stuff. Actually, no, that it's simple. It's fraction. The setting up part is the hardest part. The actual math here is just fraction multiplication. I'll do it anyways. So you convert that to an improper fraction. That's 7/2. And you take that, multiply across to 1/5. Because remember, we are multiplying both of these by 3.5. Hope that's clear. Multiplying both by 3.5 to see how, because 1/5 mile per is a ratio, and ratios can be written as a fraction. That's pretty much 1/5 to 1, or 1 to 5, however you want to write it. We are dealing with 1/5 right now, so don't complexify it. Um, that's a fraction. That's per. As you know, fractions are pretty much just, but ratios are pretty much just fractions. So that's 1/5 over 1. And as you know, 1/5 over 1. So fractions, they can be simplified and complexified. So we can multiply both of these by let's throw out a random number. 6. it can both be multiplied by 6, or any number, which is 6 over 6. 6 over 6 is 1, as is any number over itself. Yeah. Per is a ratio. That is the ratio of how many miles Hevon goes in an hour. Sorry, how many miles Hevon goes to how many minutes, or out to how many minutes it takes for him to go that number of miles. You get what I'm saying here? Are you comprehending? I hope so. That was a very awkward silence. Sorry about that. Actually, hold on. Times just any n over n, 2, and just any n over n equals, well, something equivalent to 1/5 over 1, which is just 1/5. We should all know that. That is a ratio. It's a rate. I'll write that down. And as I will further elaborate, if you see per, that means it's a ratio. The ratio here is 1/5 to 1, or 1/5 over 1, which is also 1 to 5, but which is 1/5. And again, any fraction multiplied by a fraction whose numerator and denominator are the same number, then it will equal something equivalent to 1/5 over 1, which is, again, is just 1/5. So, are multiplying both by 3.5 here and not dividing, because per is a ratio. So the ratio here is 1/5. I am sounding like a broken record here, but I am just further elaborating to get the point across. So per, that is a ratio. It's 1/5 to 1. That's a fraction. Ratios are pretty much just fractions. Fractions can be simplified or complexified. In this case, complexified is multiplication tables. That's complexification. So, oh yeah, I was going to do the math here. That by 1/5 is equal to 7 over 10, which is my answer. It's the setting up of the problem is indeed quite difficult. And that concludes my explanation of that concludes my explanation of the bike problem and why the answer is 7/10 and not 17 and a half.